Thanks for coming out tonight, everyone. I'm very happy for Kyra. I think she does a great job. She did a great job with this team as they've hit a couple speed bumps themselves and came out tonight. And really, I thought in that first quarter threw the first punch, and I didn't think we responded very well. I thought our kids played really, really hard, very, very physical, very aggressive, very confident. And they did a great job defensively. I just thought, you watch them on film and you see they do such a great job of turning people over. And some of those are forced turnovers, but they get compounded by unforced turnovers. And I thought that really hurt us in that first half. Proud of our girls for keep fighting. Obviously, that second half was much better for us. Got beat by 4 in the second half. But it's a 40-minute game, and we just bottom line got to be better for 40 minutes. Yeah, I mean, she's such a warrior. She competes so hard. She wants it so bad. Locked in, knows the scout. I mean, focused, one possession at a time, really resilient, gritty. I can't say enough great things about her. I mean, she's got a high basketball IQ and she wants us so bad. And, she just continues to show up and competes at a high level night in and night out, regardless of if the ball's falling for her or not.
It's just about 30 days. What do you think the biggest difference was tonight?
Well, they converted on our turnovers. We had quite a few the first time we played them. And again, I think the same, give them credit defensively. They get their hands on a lot of loose balls and create some havoc in half court. And then also, just like last game, there's, a handful of unforced turnovers, but when you add them together, it just gets really challenging. And, when we played them in Columbia, they didn't convert on as many as those. I think they're shooting the 3-ball a lot better. I've just been really impressed with Maddie. I think she's got a lot more aggressive over the last 5-6 games. Robin continues to do what she does, which very elite level players. So, I think the biggest difference is they converted on our turnovers in the first time they didn't.
We're going to open it up to questions for those of you on Zoom. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hey, Robin. I'm when you go to the first couple quarters, I know that's kind of been a thing of the last couple games. Kind of slow starts and all that. What went into the first couple quarters, and why were the struggles in offense kind of continuing today?
Yeah, last time we played Kentucky, they didn't switch much of our screening action. They really fought to get through. They switched on flare screens and back screens, but all of our other screen action, they really fought to get through. I think they caught us off guard tonight with how much they were switching throughout the flow of our offense. And I don't think we made the adjustment, obviously, very well. We talked a lot about slip cuts, 7 cuts, and we didn't execute that part of it very well. I think defensively, again, you watch a lot of film, you break it down with your players and try and help them understand how they get their turnovers. And we had a hard time with ball security tonight. We didn't value it at the level that you need to in the SEC and against a really good defensive team.
Robin, when you guys are just kind of in this rough patch, 6 straight games, just how do you work out of that? I know we've mentioned ball security as the biggest thing along the way.
I really felt going into this game, we're in a good place. And, at the end of the day, it falls on me and I've got to figure this out. We're not shooting the ball very well. Actually, uncharacteristically poor for what we do on offense, and we just I don't think we're playing great on either end of the ball right now. And bottom line is that's my responsibility and I got to figure it out. But I tell you what, if I'm breathing, I'm fighting, and we're going to figure it out. Our backs are against the wall now, and we got to find a way to make February pretty darn good for us if we want a chance to go into postseason play.
Coach Haley Frank, the only double-figure scorer today. Just is it the defensive scouting well for the other players in the team, or how can you get some of these other players more involved and more into a rhythm while they're struggling?
Yeah, we're getting good shots. I think a lot of times I shouldn't say a lot of good shots. I think we're getting the looks that we need to be able to knock down those shots. And I think a lot of times when, you're in a little bit of a slump, that basket just continues to shrink, and you get a little bit tighter with every shot. And the only way I know to get out of a shooting slump is to stay in the gym and continue to work on your craft. And, that's got to be our mindset, is that it's not a magic potion. You've got to, the mind is really important. You've got to keep it in the right space, but you got to put in the work and continue to work yourself through it.
Robin, I'm sure you're happy to kind of return home this upcoming week with 2 home games. Just what's the feeling of just coming back home after some hard road games?
Well, I mean, it's always great to be at Mizzou Arena. I think our fans are tremendous, and they continue to be with us during the highs and lows. And but we got to produce. We got to produce for them. We've got to produce for ourselves, and we got to look ourselves in the mirror. And at the end of the day, like I said, I've got to figure this out. I got to figure out, what's going on with this team, because it's not the same gritty, tough, confident team that we had, when we were 14-2, and we played a really tough non-conference schedule. And we're playing in a really tough league, and everybody's scraping and clawing and trying to find a win. I mean, you could look at this game and say it was a must win for Kentucky, and it was a must win for us. And that's just every night out, you're going to get each other's best shots, and you got to show up, and you've got to be resilient, and you got to show some toughness on both ends of the ball. And I've got to figure out a way to help our girls be able to play at that level.
Robin, I know the first 6 or 7 shots you guys took today were threes, and I think you just connected on one of them. I mean, when it comes to that flow, that rhythm shooting, I know that's kind of the bread and butter of this team, kind of the long range shots, and you've been able to make a lot of them too. But is there any way you can kind of get them into a rhythm a little bit earlier, or is it just kind of you have to keep shooting to get out of that funk?
Well, actually, that was a point of emphasis going into today's game. I mean, the first draw up was for Jayla Kelly to get the ball inside. And I thought we had a good look, but we didn't get the ball to her. And so it's something that we're talking about. We're calling play calls to get the ball inside. And we talk a lot about being an inside out, attack and get those rhythm threes versus off the bounce or in transition. And, again, I think when you go through a shooting slump, I mean, we're in it bad right now, and we've just got to continue to stay the course and fight our way through it.
And I know you mentioned, obviously March 13th is the goal for this team. It always has been. And now when you enter February at kind of the wrong side of the bubble, well, what do you have to do to kind of get on the right side of it?
Well, I mean, you got to win, you got to probably, I don't know if you have to win out, but you probably got to get 6 of the next 7. And that's a tall task. And, that probably feels like pressure, but we continue to try and break it down. I mean, it's like everybody, one game at a time. We talked tonight about just winning the first media. And, we just, more than anything, we need a good week of practice, and hopefully our scout team is going to be available, and can't hang our head, can't feel sorry for yourself. This is a tough league, and you've got to bow up, and we got to find a way to just continue fighting through it.
Does it feel like you just kind of need one of those games to go right in your direction to kind of get back into the swing of things, kind of get the confidence flowing?
It sure does. I think, obviously we all knew the gauntlet, and then, that was a little bit of what I was afraid of after you play Arkansas, LSU, South Carolina, that, there might be a little bit of an exhale, as in, okay, that was the gauntlet, and not in the SEC. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night. And so there's really no time to exhale. And, that was our message to our players. But, again, we've got to find a way to find a rhythm. And I said it earlier, but if I'm breathing, I'm fighting, and we're gonna fight like heck to get this figured out for everyone.